Hi, I have a devotional thought for you. It's about the difference between forgiveness and trust. In the Bible, in the book of Acts, there is the Apostle Paul and Barnabas going on missionary journeys. They went on a journey together early in the book of Acts, and they took along a young man named John Mark. During that journey, John Mark got homesick, and he abandoned the both of them on the trip, and he went back home and didn't support them anymore. Later, they were going to go on another journey and do the same kind of aggressive mission work. And Barnabas wanted to bring John Mark along, but the Apostle Paul said, no, I don't want to bring him. He ditched us and I don't want him. And it says in the Bible they had a very strong dispute. Two godly men having a different opinion about bringing along John Mark. How could that be? It boils down to the difference between forgiveness and trust. Forgiveness is pardoning someone from the sin and the hurt that they've caused you. God forgives us in his son, Jesus Christ. It's the most beautiful thing on the earth. We learn to forgive others with that supernatural love in our hearts, and we forgive them. But when we forgive them, we don't automatically trust them. Paul did not trust John Mark, but Barnabas did. And Barnabas thought they'd be just fine with him, even with his weaknesses. When someone doesn't trust another person, they don't want to go on any kind of journey with them in life. And you'll feel that sense that you want to pull back and not be a part of anyone's life who's hurt you deeply because you don't trust them. That doesn't necessarily mean that you don't forgive them. It's important, though, to know the difference. So if I were mountain climbing with you and we went up a cliff and I went up first and I held this rope at the top of the cliff and you grabbed onto it and I said, hang on tight and start making your way up. And you got halfway up, maybe 5 feet off the ground, and I cut the rope and you fell and hurt your rear end. What if I threw a rope back down and said, hey, you can trust me now? You wouldn't trust me. I just hurt you deeply. Trust is something that you create one strand at a time. This is a grass rope. You see the different strands? 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 1 day at a time, you build one strand at a time of trust between people after there's been a hurt. So it takes time. Forgiveness is immediate when the gospel is at work, but trust grows over time. It's learning to depend on somebody else. Forgiveness gives a person the opportunity to rebuild trust. It makes you allow yourself to be around them some, but it's up to them in their humble, repentant, consistent behavior that's the opposite of the hurt that they cause you to rebuild trust. So remember, if you're the offender or you're the offended one, there's a big difference between forgiveness and trust. You know, later, the Apostle Paul, in one of his letters, said, bring John Mark and because he is a big help to me. Somehow, through his consistent, humble, obedient life, John Mark and Paul got back together because John Mark built trust and Paul let it happen. I hope you grow in your ability to know the difference between forgiveness and trust, and that you learn that trust is earned over time, and that you learn to be good at building trust in others, because that's what Christ wants. And he's able to do it, but it comes slower than forgiveness. Have a great week.